In this episode of Christopher Reads the Help Files, it's the Getting Started, the Autodesk Civil 3D User Interface, the Toolspace Settings tab, and this is part 2 of the Autodesk Civil 3D User Interface. The Toolspace Settings tab, topics in this section. About the Toolspace Settings tab, you can use the Settings tab to manage styles for Autodesk Civil 3D objects to control settings for drawings and commands. To open or close the Toolspace Settings tab, about the Settings tab icons, use the icons at the top of the Settings tab to control the orientation of the item view to display the panorama window and access help. That looks like a duplicate of the Prospector tab. About the Commands collection, Settings tree. Use the command collections in the Settings tree to control the settings for a specific command at the object feature level. About the Object collection, Settings tree. Use the object collection in the settings tree to access object styles, settings, and drawing-related information for a class of objects. About the object style collection, settings tree. Use an object styles collection in the settings tree to manage styles for a class of objects. About the label styles collection, settings tree. Use the label styles collection in the settings tree to create and manage label styles and expressions for a class of objects. About the table style collections, settings tree. Use the table styles collections in the settings tree to create and manage table styles for a class of objects. About the general collection, settings tree. Use the general collection to create multipurpose and label styles that can be used by more than one object type. About the Toolspace Settings tab. You can use Settings tab to manage styles for Autodesk Civil 3D objects and to control settings for drawings and commands. Right-click Collections and Items to access commands. So you can come over here and right-click and edit different items, except for multi-purpose styles. So you can go in there and edit various values. On this tab, styles are organized for different object types. Even in a blank drawing, most of these styles are present in a standard hierarchy. You can create and modify styles in a drawing, then save it as a template. Subsequent drawings based on the template will automatically have the same set of styles available. You can modify object, label, and table styles. You can also control settings for drawings and commands. Controlling the items displayed in the settings tree. Use the drop-down list at the top of the Settings tab to control which items are displayed in the Settings tree. Select one of the following tree views on the Settings tab. Master View, display items for all open drawings. The name of the active drawing is shown in boldface. Active Drawing Settings View, displays only the items for the active drawing. Active Drawing Labels Only View, displays only label style collections and label styles items for the active drawing. Label style items. Shouldn't that be label style items? Label style. Labels Only View displays only label style collections and label style items for all drawings. So they're using this one differently than this one. So I'm going to report it. What the heck? So shouldn't this be this? If not, then the other instances need to change because they're picking multiples. The settings tree. Use the settings tree to manage object, label, and table styles and to control settings for drawings and commands. The following illustration shows the top-level collections in the settings tree. So that looks all right. Most of the object collections conform to a standard layout and use a standard context menu. So I'll go ahead and submit the feedback. To open or close the Toolspace Settings tab, click on the Home or View tab, Palettes panel, and Settings. So we got Home tab, Palettes panel, and then Settings. And I guess that's the same icon. Note when the tab is in the open state, the button has a blue background. When the tab is in a closed state, the background color of the button matches the color of the ribbon. So that looks like it's true. About the Settings tab icons. When the icons at the top of the Settings tab, to control the orientation of the item view, to display the panorama window, and to access help. Toggles the orientation of the item view when the tool space window is floating. Switches the display of the panorama window. If the panorama window doesn't contain any vistas, this control is not active. Displays help. So it looks like they've got all three buttons there. About the commands, collections, settings tree. Use the commands, collections in the settings tree to control the settings for a specific command at the object feature level. When you change settings, use the commands collection. The changes affect a single command only. The following illustration shows an example of a settings tree commands collection. Commands, add lines between 2 points, add note label. So I believe that is create arcs by line between 2 points. So here I've got label view, so I'm going to go to active drawing settings view. And then here are the commands. So that's that command. So it looks the same. Right-click a command name and click Edit Settings to display the Edit Command Settings dialog box for the command. Then you can then change the settings. So right-click, Edit Command Settings, and then there's the Edit Command Settings dialog box. So everything looks cool on this page. About the Object Collection settings tree. Use the Object Collection in the settings tree to access object styles, settings, and drawing-related information for a class of objects. So it looks like they're using the Oxford comma inconsistently. Because I think that should be, yeah. So I'm not quite sure what they're trying to do there. If there's an exception to the Oxford comma that I don't know about, but it looks like there should be a comma there. The following illustration shows an example of a settings tree object collection. Right-click the object collection to display a context menu with the following commands. So if we go down to alignment, we right-click. So we got edit feature settings, edit label style defaults, and refresh. Modify the settings for all of the commands that pertain to the object is what the edit feature settings does. Edit label style defaults. Set default settings for all label styles belonging to the object. Refresh, update the settings tree display. For detailed information about the settings, click Help in the dialog box that is displayed when you select the menu item. And then I'm going to come down here. The first sentence doesn't appear to use the Oxford comma, but other places in help do use it. Is there a rule I don't know about? Or should a comma be added for the item before the and? This occurs in other sections of help. So I'll go ahead and submit the feedback. About the object style collection settings tree. It's kind of weird that they're including settings tree here, but they don't include like a qualifier on the other one. Use an object styles collection in the settings tree to manage styles for a class of objects. The following illustration shows an example of a settings tree object style collection. settings tree, object styles. Object styles. So it's inconsistent. So I'm going to go ahead and add it. Oops. And so there's I just call it a page. Inconsistently. Cool. Right-click on the style collection to display a standard context menu with the following commands. Select this command, New, to create a new style. Refresh to update the style settings tree display. Right-click a style name to display a context menu with the following commands. Edit, change the properties of the selected style. Copy, create a new style based on an existing style. Find references. Locate where styles are used in the current drawing. This command is displayed only when the style is in use. Replace with. Replace the use of a style with another style. This command is displayed only when the selected style is in use. Delete. Delete the selected style. This command is displayed only when the style can be deleted. Refresh. Update the settings tree display. So if I go back up here, we have styles. So that'd be alignment styles. So if I right click on alignment styles, I should get new and refresh. And if I click on a style that's basic, I should have edit, copy, find references and replace with, and delete is gone. And if I select right click on one that doesn't have the little triangle, the find references and replace with are removed, and I just have the other options. So everything looks good. Go ahead and submit my feedback. About the label styles collection. So about the object style collection. So it's really inconsistent. So these are styles collections, and then this is object style collections. So the plural isn't consistent. Use the label styles collections in the settings tree to create and manage label styles and expressions for a class of objects. Click the plus minus to expand the collection and see the label styles for the object. Some objects have multiple levels of label styles. The following illustration shows an example of a label style collection. And so I can come down here, I got my label styles, and there's the label collection, and this one has even further breakdowns of the style collections. Right-click a label style name to display a context menu that contains the following commands. Select this command if you want to. Edit, change the properties of the label style. New, create a new child label style. Copy, create a new label style based on an existing label style. Find references, locate where the label styles are used in the current drawing. This command is displayed only when the label style is in use. Replace with, replace the use of a label style with another label style. This command is displayed only when the selected label styles is in use. Delete, delete the selected label style. This command is displayed only when the style can be deleted. Refresh, update the settings display tree. And so that's going to be right click, and we got just refresh. If I go one down, that's going to be new. So it's kind of weird that they didn't include the right click on that. If I go to major station, I can edit the label style defaults. And then if I right click, I can see the options that are within this help file. And then my only comment for this one is going to be in the help file headings, styles, collections, and style collections are both used. This seems not consistent. And so I'll go ahead and submit my feedback. About the table styles collection settings tree. Use the table styles collections in the settings tree to create and manage table styles for a class of objects. Click the plus/minus box to expand the collection and see the data table styles for the object. Some objects have multiple levels of table styles. The following illustration shows an example of a settings tree table style collection. Right-click a table style collection to display a context menu with the following commands. Select this command, New, to create a new table style. Refresh to update a settings tree. So here are my table styles. I can right-click and I see New and Refresh, just like it says. For detailed information about the settings, click Help in the dialog box that is displayed when you select a menu item. Right-click a table style to display a context menu that contains the following commands. Select this command if you want to. So we have Edit, change the properties of the table style. Copy, create a new table style based on the existing table style. Find references, locate where table styles are used in the current drawing. This command is displayed only when the table style is in use. Replace with, replace the use of a table style with another table style. This command is displayed only when the selected table style is in use. Delete, delete the table style. This command is displayed only when the style can be deleted. Refresh, update the settings tree display. So that all looks good. About the general collection, settings tree. Use the general collection to create multi-purpose and label styles that can be used by more than one object type. Pipes and surface objects can share the render styles in the general multi-purpose styles collection, while corridors and grading share the other styles in this folder. The general label styles are used by lines, curves, feature lines, and corridors. This collection also contains note label styles, which are not specific to an object. The following illustration shows an illustration of the general collection. Right-click a style name to display a context menu that contains the following commands. Select this command if you want to. Edit, change the properties of the style. Copy, create a new style based on an existing style. Delete, delete the selected style. This command is displayed only when the style can be deleted. Refresh, update the settings tree display. For detailed information about the settings, click the help in the dialog box that is displayed when you select the menu item. So it looks like they're missing some in here. So let's see if those are actually it. So right-click a style name. So if I go up to General, go to like multi-purpose style, marker style, right-click, and I just get Edit, Copy, and Refresh, which is what I'd expect. But if there's a triangle, I have the Find References and Replace With. So it's really missing those items. So I'll just go ahead down here. So if the style is being used, the help file omits the options to replace with and find references. The previous help files include these. So I'll go ahead and submit the feedback and go to the Toolspace Survey tab. In this section, about the Survey Toolspace Survey tab, you can use the Survey tab to manage survey, user, and system settings, as well as survey data. To open or close the Toolspace Survey tab, about the Survey tab icons, use the icons at the top of the Survey tab to display settings-related dialog boxes. To display the Survey Preview window, to control the orientation of the item and list items, to display the panorama window, and to access help. And so this one has the Oxford comma, and the other ones did not, or some of them did not. So here's the Survey tab, and I've got the various items here. About the Survey Toolspace Survey tab. You can use the Survey tab to manage survey user and system settings as well as survey data. Survey data is managed on the Survey tab of the Toolspace instead of the Prospector tab like other objects. Right-click the collections and items to access commands. This tab displays survey project data organized within databases for survey projects, equipment, and survey prefixes. The project database record the survey points, networks, and figures. The equipment databases record standard deviations and other operational parameters of individual pieces of survey equipment. The figure prefix database record and the conversion routines that are applied when creating lots, buildings, or other figures from the survey points. The contents of the Survey tab are not specific to a drawing. The tab reflects the survey data in your Civil 3D projects folder, so it facilitates access to survey data from multiple drawings. So survey data isn't contained within the drawings, it's contained within the database. So that's kind of wrong. So this sentence, so it probably should be multiple drawings should facilitates access from multiple drawings to get data from the survey data database, or something like that. And then this sentence. See if I have this sentence. So hopefully that's clear enough. So it lists all of the ones except for the line work code styles. The contents of the Survey tab are not, already read that one. You can build survey queries to filter the surveyed points and figures in a project. The point and figures can be converted to Autodesk Civil 3D points and parcels, or added to a surface as points or break lines. The survey tree. The survey tree provides access to survey data and settings. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be this one. Survey databases. A survey database collection expands to display all the networks, which collect the control points, non-control points, known directions, observations, setups, and traverse definitions, figures, and survey points. Equipment databases. Expand to display available equipment databases. Figure prefix databases. Expands to display available figure prefix databases. Figure prefix databases enable you to determine the layer that a figure is drawn on by creating a prefix for a group of figure names. Linework code sets. Expand to display available linework code set. Linework code sets are used to interpret the syntax of the field codes that are entered into the data collector by the survey field crew. Standard context menu commands are available for many survey tree items and collections. To display the context menu, right-click on a collection or item in the survey tree. So like that. tutorial, viewing survey data, tutorial, creating survey data using the Toolspace Survey tab. So I'll go ahead and hit Submit Feedback and go to the Open or Close this Toolspace Survey tab. To open or close the Toolspace Survey tab, click Home or View tab, Palettes panel, Survey. So that's going to be this guy here. So you can turn it on and off. Note, when the tab is open state, the button has a blue background. When the tab is in the closed state, the background color of the button matches the background color of the ribbon. That is true. About the Survey tab icons. Use the icons at the top of the Survey tab to display settings-related dialog boxes, to display the Survey Preview window, to control the orientation of item and list views, to display the panorama window, and to access help. So up here we have the icon, the search icon, the settings icon, the flip, panorama, and the help. Display the Survey User Settings dialog box. The user settings are specific to a Windows user login account and affect the survey feature system, not database or drawing data. Opens the Survey Preview window. Displays the Survey Preview Settings dialog box. Select the components that you want to display in the preview. Cool. Switches the orientation of the item and list views, available only when the tool space is undocked. Switches the display of the panorama window. If the panorama window doesn't contain any active vistas, this control is not available. Displays help. The Toolspace Toolbox tab. Topics in this section. About the Toolspace Toolbox tab. You can use the Toolbox tab to access the Reports Manager and subscription extensions and to add custom tools. So here's they didn't include a comma. I don't know, this looks like there should be a comma there, but to open or close the Toolspace Toolbox tab, about the Toolbox tab icons. Use the icons at the top of the Toolbox tab to edit report settings, to display the Toolbox Editor, and control the orientation of item and list views, to display the panorama window, and to access help. About the Toolspace Toolbox tab. You can use the Toolbox tab to access the Reports Manager and subscription extensions and to add custom tools. Right-click Collections to access commands. The Toolbox tab of the Toolspace is the primary interface for running reports and extensions. Like the Survey tab, you can show or hide the Toolbox tab as needed. So the Toolbox tab is here, and then here's the button to turn it on or off. The Toolbox tab organizes reports for each object type. The reports provide useful engineering data, and sometimes not, from a drawing in a compact, portable format. Some are in LaTeX/ML format with predefined or custom XSL sheet styles. Other reports are in .NET format with custom dialog boxes that allow you to select data and various options. You can add your own reports to the Toolbox menu. These reports can be in a variety of formats, including XML, VBA, COM, or .NET. Subscription extensions. When you install subscription extensions, they are added to the Subscription Extension Manager collection in the Toolbox. It really depends on if the person is following that. Sometimes they don't. The Toolbox tree. Use the Toolbox tree to access the reports available in the Reports Manager, to access subscription extensions, and to use other custom tools. The following commands are available in the Toolbox context menu whenever they are applicable. Select this context menu command if you want to do this. Execute. Run a selected report, extension, or utility. Refresh. Update the items displayed in the Toolbox tree. To open or close the Toolspace Toolbox tab, click Home or View tab, Palettes panel, and Toolbox. Note, when the tab is in the open state, the button has a blue background. When the tab is in the closed state, the background color of the button matches the background color of the ribbon. about the Toolbox tab icons. Use the icons at the top of the Toolbox tab to edit report settings, to display the Toolbox Editor, to control the orientation of the item and list views, to display the panorama window, and to access help. The Toolbox icon opens the Edit Report Settings dialog box where you can edit settings for all report types. So you get the list there. The toolbox with a little pencil opens the Toolbox Editor where you can add custom reports and other custom tools. And so I can expand it in Panorama, and you can see that it matches the other item. There are some additional items here. So when the name is the same, like here for Reports Manager, so it's two separate XML files, and then they get merged together through magic. And so here's the break line, and that's because it has the same name. There might also be a GUID involved. And then we have miscellaneous utilities. And there's two of them. And so then they get merged together. And then next we have the user interface command reference. Use the links in the following tables to access more information about user interface commands available from the command line in Autodesk Civil 3D. I'm going to skip reading all of these because we'll read them later on. And so it looks like they all have links except for the welcome screen. So the list is of links, but the welcome screen doesn't have one. Is this because you Autodesk messed up and ruined the welcome screen? So there used to be one, but it may have gone away because they did the BIM 360 stuff. And so kind of got rid of a bunch of them. So if we go back to Civil 3D, we can try the welcome screen command. And so it's not even a command anymore. And I already hit OK. And so that's probably why the link doesn't work, because there's no longer that welcome screen because they got rid of it. And so this has been Christopher Reads the Help File. A lot about the tool space. Part 2.